Today I'm going to give away a free t-shirt, continue my Comicology 101 series of the X-Men, and reveal the books I bought this week. How y'all doing? I'm Victor, and you are watching the Comic Hero Show. Now kick that intro, bub! Edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. The summer of superheroes continues, and as I'm doing this entire month of June, I'm celebrating the X-Men 60th anniversary. And on this episode, I'm celebrating the best he is at what he does, Wolverine. Now I'm going to touch base more on the character later on, but for right now, it's time to give away a free t-shirt. Alright, on last week's episode, I asked, who was the first non-mutant member of the X-Men? Well, the correct answer is Mimic. Now, if you answered Calvin Rankin, I also accepted your answer. Well, 8 people have answered correctly, and because they've answered correctly, your name's been entered in a drawing for a free tee. And that drawing takes place right now. So the winner of the free tee for this week's episode of the show is... Christy Burrell from Alexandria, Louisiana. So congratulations, Christy. You get yourself a free Comic Hero key. Alright, here's the question for next week's episode, and because I'm celebrating the X-Men 60th anniversary, this is another X-Men question. What is the name of the group of mutant-hunting robots who are typically depicted as antagonists to the X-Men? Alright, here are the hints. The first hint is that these robots made their first appearance in the X-Men number 14 in 1965. The second hint, there are smaller but deadlier versions of these robots. Their names are Bastion and Nimrod. The third hint, these robots were one of the main antagonists in the film X-Men Days of Future Past in 2014. And then the fourth and final hint, the name of this group of robots is also a noun, which means a soldier or guard whose job is to stand and keep watch. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. Now, I'm continuing my Comicology 101 segment on the X-Men, and because it's a little lengthy, so I'm not going to do a comically speaking segment on this episode. I'm talking about characters in the 80s and early 90s, and also I'm going to mention some events that happened throughout this time. So, ladies and gentlemen, class is now in session. Welcome to Comicology 101. This week, I'll be talking about the X-Men throughout the 80s and beyond. The X-Men have never looked back since their triumphant comeback in 1975. There have been more new members along the way. Shadowcat, whose real name is Kate Pride, possesses intangibility, gifted intellect, and is a skilled martial artist. She made her first appearance in Uncanny X-Men number 129 in 1980 and was created by John Byrne and Chris Claremont. Dazzler, whose real name is Allison Blair, possesses the ability to convert sound into light of various forms and intensity, polarizing eyes that prevent blindness and dazzlement from light, is a trained singer, actress, and dancer, a highly skilled athlete and hand-to-hand fighter, and a highly accomplished roller skater. She made her first appearance in Uncanny X-Men number 130 in 1980 and was created by John Romita Jr., Tom DeFalco, Louise Simonson, and Roger Stern. Rogue, whose real name is Anna Marie LeBeau, possesses attribute, memory, and power absorption through physical contact, permanently absorbed superpowers, which include superhuman strength, speed, stamina, agility, and reflexes, near invulnerability, and flight. She made her first appearance in Avengers Annual number 10 in 1980. She was a villain then, but she soon saw the light and became a member of the X-Men in 1983. Oh, and she's married to Gambit. Prestige, whose real name is Rachel Summers, possesses time manipulation, empathy, telepathy, and telekinesis. She made her first appearance in Uncanny X-Men number 141 in 1981 and was created by Chris Claremont, John Byrne, and John Romita Jr. Captain Britain, whose real name is Betsy Braddock, possesses telekinesis, telepathy, precognition, the ability to construct weapons made of psychic energy, usually in the form of a blade, and is an expert martial artist. Her first appearance was in Captain Britain number 8 in 1976 and was created by Chris Claremont and Herb Trimp. Psylocke, whose real name is Quanon, last name unknown, possesses telepathy, psionic blade generation, and telekinesis. She made her first appearance in X-Men number 17 in 1993 and was created by Fabian Nicieza and Andy Kubert. Now, with the last two that I just mentioned, they both shared a body for years, but eventually they got their own bodies back. Gambit, whose real name is Remy LeBeau, possesses kinetic energy generation and manipulation, superhuman physical attributes via kinetic energy channeling, irresistible hypnotic charm, telepathic immunity via charged and potential energy, self-charging ability, static generation, is a highly skilled martial artist and hand-to-hand combatant, and is an expert marksman, stick fighter, and acrobat. He made his first appearance in Uncanny X-Men number 266 in 1990 and was created by Chris Claremont and Jim Lee. Jubilee, whose real name is Jubilation Lee, possesses pyrotechnic energy plasmoid generation and manipulation, and detection immunity. She made her first appearance in Uncanny X-Men number 244 in 1989 and was created by Chris Claremont and Mark Silvestri. Gateway, real name unknown, possesses dimensional travel, clairvoyance, and telepathy. He made his first appearance in Uncanny X-Men number 229 in 1988 and was created by Chris Claremont and Mark Silvestri. Bishop, whose real name is Lucas Bishop, possesses energy absorption and redirection, superhuman physical attributes, and the ability to instinctively know present locations. He made his first appearance in Uncanny X-Men number 282 in 1991 and was created by Wallace Portacio and John Byrne. Cable, whose real name is Nathan Summers, possesses telekinesis, telepathy, teleportation, is an expert marksman and hand-to-hand combatant, cybernetic enhancements that grant him superhuman strength and durability, enhanced multi-spectrum vision, and the ability to interface with technology. He made his first appearance as an infant in Uncanny X-Men number 201 in 1986 and was created by Chris Claremont and Rick Leonardi. He later made his first appearance as an adult from the future in the New Mutants number 87 in 1990 and was created by Louise Simonson and Rob Liefeld. Throughout this period, there have been different story arcs and events, including Days of Future Past, the Dark Phoenix Saga, the new X-Men series in 1991, and Onslaught. Who could ever forget when the original 5 X-Men reunited and formed the first ever X-Factor roster in 1986? Who could ever forget when Apocalypse tore off Angel's wings and made him the Death Horseman? Or when Magneto removed the adamantium for Wolverine's skeletal system? Don't worry, he got it back. Or who could ever forget when the X-Men set up operations in Limbo? At one point, they nipped the bud with all the mutants throughout the world, and they currently live on the island of Krakoa. One thing about it, the X-Men have endured a lot in 60 years. That's all for today. Next week, I'll be discussing other X-Men related teams. Class dismissed. Alright, well, I hope y'all enjoyed the Comicology 101 segment, and next week I'll conclude it with some related characters of the X-Men. Alright, let's get to the comics I bought this week. Comic books I bought this week. Alright, here we go. First up is The Amazing Spider-Man number 27. Batman Incorporated number 9. I'm so glad this book is back. Battle Chasers number 10. Now, I need to talk about this book for a minute. This book was originally created by Joe Madureira, and he created it in 1998. And he would sparingly do the book all the way from 1998 until 2001, with the last issue being number 9 coming out in August of that year. And he got away from it, but I'm glad that he's back, and I can't wait to read this book. Black Panther number 1. Captain America Cold War Omega. So sad this book is ending. Captain Marvel number 50. Doctor Strange number 4. Green Lantern number 2. Really excited about this book. Spider-Man India number 1. Star Trek number 9. Superman Lost number 4. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 140. Wildcats number 8. Wolverine number 34. And finally, X-Men Red number 12. Alright, that's 15, which brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 12,139. Alright, well, I hope y'all enjoyed this week's episode, and here's a question again for a free tee for next week's episode of the show. What is the name of the group of mutant-hunting robots who are typically depicted as antagonists to the X-Men? Alright, here are the hints again. The first hint is that these robots made their first appearance in the X-Men number 14 in 1965. The second hint, there are smaller but deadlier versions of these robots. Their names are Bastion and Nimrod. The third hint, these robots were one of the main antagonists in the film X-Men Days of Future Past in 2014. And then the fourth and final hint, the name of this group of robots is also a noun which means a soldier or guard whose job is to stand and keep watch. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. And congratulations to Christy Burrell from Alexandria, Louisiana, who won a free tee on this episode. Now, Wolverine is the character I'm showing some love to on this episode, and Wolverine is definitely the best at what he does. He's one of my all-time favorite characters. Now, he made his first appearance in The Incredible Hulk number 180 in 1974, but didn't make his first full appearance until the very next issue a month later. And he was out, and he was in that issue, he tangled up with both the Hulk and Wendigo. And he was fresh off the Weapons X program, which granted him the antimanium throughout his entire skeletal system. Now, he later became a member of the X-Men and was one of the new members in John Side's X-Men number 1 in 1975, which marked the comeback of the X-Men. And after that, they never looked back. And along the way, in addition to being a member of the X-Men, Wolverine has also been a member of the Canadian mutant team Alpha Flight. and also he's been an Avenger. And really love this character. And he also has some in addition to the claws, he also has some canine-like teeth. And you best believe you better stay out of his way when he goes berserk, because when he goes berserker mode, it's over. But yeah, definitely love this character. All right, now here's the road ahead for the show. On next week's episode, I'm going to end my month-long celebration of the X-Men 60th anniversary with Louisiana's favorite mutant, Gambit. And then I'm going to have another comically speaking segment. I didn't want to do one on this episode because I kind of figured after I got finished doing the Mycology 101 segment on the lesson 3, I knew it was going to be a little lengthy, and I didn't want to. And I figured, doing a comically speaking segment would have been overkill. So it's going to be back next week. So look out for that. And then I've decided what I'm going to do in all next month in the month of July. This year marks the 30th anniversary of the Reign of the Superman story arc and the Return of Superman. So all month long, I'm going to celebrate everything about that. And I'm going to kick things off with Dr. John Henry Irons himself, Steel. And then Superboy, the Cyborg Superman. And then I'm also going to have a comic hero tee that's kind of similar to the suit that Superman wore after he walked out of the Kryptonian restoration chamber, after he came back. That is, after he came back from the dead. So look for that. And if you're watching this for the first time on YouTube, welcome. And as soon as you're done, hit subscribe. And if you're watching this on the Comic Book Lovers Facebook page, welcome. And as soon as you're done, go on YouTube and hit subscribe. All right, I'm Victor Nunley on the Comic Hero. I'll see you next week for episode 449. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero!